Something came up in class recently that I haven't really been able to get out of my mind, and it had to do with the subject of drug and alcohol, and also hell. So anyway, the first thing is a student was reacting to something that was shared in class that had to do with some research from a Harvard psychologist named Robert Waldinger. And basically one of his quotes is that the good life is built in good relationships, which perhaps is pretty obvious, or not, the value of relationships in terms of well-being. Regardless, we talked about the sorts of behaviors that would serve being in good relationship with others, and some of those things had to do with how one takes care of the self, that you don't totally disregard the self in service of others or in service of relationships, and that being too subservient or service-oriented can lead to a disintegration of the self that ultimately might create harm in terms of your close relationships with a spouse or your regard for your children. Anyway, and then alcohol and drugs came up, and it was kind of generally talked about that, alcohol and drugs, certainly an unhealthy relationship to alcohol and drugs would not support that healthy regard for oneself in service of good relationships. And a student chimed in and said, yeah, but alcohol and drugs don't necessarily make a person bad. Bad people would be more inclined to do bad things if they're under the influence, and good people will be more inclined to do good things when they're under the influence. Okay, I don't remember exactly how I responded to this, but since I've taken some time to think about it, I wanted to think about a couple of things about that I find maybe just a little underdeveloped. One is that I don't think, concretely speaking, there is a clean division between good people and bad people. This actually connects to what I wanted to discuss having to do with hell and how that subject came up in class with my seniors. But I think within each person is the potential for great good and great evil. That's kind of affirmed, I think, by taking a nuanced look at history and the different people throughout history that have been categorized as being just evil, individuals or groups of people. More often than not, I think people are just trying to do their best with where they exist within the timeline of human history, and as it concerns Brauffenhofer's ecological system of development.